easily fall into, we need to be the University of Florida research one. We need to be Ohio State research one. We don't, and we shouldn't. We're Florida Atlantic, and someone needs to be bold enough to build a shared vision of what that actually means. And that's going to take some courage on that person's part to do that, because there's going to be a lot of pressure for us to be like somewhere else.
Hello everyone, this is Sofia Espriella, Editor-in-Chief for the University Press. Today is Thursday, August the 29th. We're here at the first Presidential Search Committee listening session at the College of Business building from 8 a.m. till 1 p.m. We have 5 different groups of people scheduled for this. According to the Presidential Search Committee, first group is going to be donors, second group is going to be staff. However, everyone can jump in the sessions. We also have students, we'll have faculty. We want to keep you guys updated with this process. This is the first listening session. This will go all the way through September the 9th. It will have different locations. This is our first in-person one. The next one will be virtual. We'll keep you updated. Whole new process. This new search starts after Ashley Moody declared the last presidential search that it violated the sunshine laws in last October. So we'll keep you guys updated.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Gaffney. I am reporting for the University Press. Right now I'm standing outside the room where the presidential search listening sessions are occurring. We just finished the first session of the 4 sessions today. That was community members and donors. Only 8 people were present at that meeting. Most were committee board members and a few community members and donors. Right now there are 23 people that have shown up. A lot of faculty, a lot of committee members again, and they are giving input on university strengths and also discussing the priorities preferred for the next university president. More to come.
So we're here with Dr. Scott, History Department professor, who's also part of the advisory team for faculty advising for the Presidential Search Committee. I wanted to ask you, why should students care about the decisions that are taken here?
The students should care. This is the decision that determines the future of the university, right? And so you definitely want a president that's going to have the students' interests at heart. Obviously, there's a lot of critique that students have about the university, particularly around issues like housing, for example. So to have a president that has the students' interests at heart will definitely be beneficial to the larger student population.
Could you please break down to us a little bit the role of the university's president for students who don't actually know what the president does?
The president is more than just a figurehead of the university, right? They are the contact person in order to bring more donors into the university, in order to set the university on a vision for the future. And the reason I think students should be involved is because you want a president that has the same vision of the future as you do, right? So you don't want a president leading your university down a path that you don't agree with, right? And so to have students involved in this process is going to ensure that the president of the university, the leader of the university, in all matters, right, in all departments, will be aligned with what you want.
All right, and my last question is going to be, how does faculty feel about this new process in comparison to the last one? How has everything been handled?
Cautiously optimistic about the process, right? The first process was failed, right? And so we are cautiously optimistic. I think there was some concern about the fact that there was only one faculty member named on the Presidential Search Committee. Hence the creation of this faculty advising committee, right? To ensure that there will be more faculty input. Again, I think cautiously optimistic is a fair way.
All right, thank you so much. All right, so it's 10:30 in the morning. We're halfway through our 3rd session here. 2nd session was staff members. 3rd session is faculty members. We had about 15 people in the 2nd session. We kind of have the exact same number in the 3rd session, so we're starting to see more people coming as the day flows in. 2nd session, staff members were raising concerns about wages not being high enough, problematic to retain staff members, problematics to advance with the technology and have capacities staff with the capacities to handle the technology. Now we're hearing our faculty members who are raising concerns about a presidential candidate, a president who's able to connect with different students, who understand that students have to work, to understand the diversity of our student population. So we'll keep you guys updated. So we're here with Marcus Sanfard from FAU Campus Rec. Marcus, you were here during the listening session. Tell us a little bit about the concerns you raised, what you thought it was important for them to know as the characteristics the candidate has to have.
So I think it was extremely important to talk about accountability across the board as it pertains to our professional staff in student affairs, as well as the processes and being more innovative so we can move and transition to a higher institution, a higher learning.
I know you're kind of new around FAU, but what is your take on the differences between the last process, the last presidential search, and this one, and how do you feel about this one? How's your department feeling about this one?
So it's pretty exciting because I was not invited to the previous presidential search. Just to be a part of this and to hear and provide feedback so we feel like we are a part of this search makes me feel extremely proud and happy that the institution is taking our word in perspective. So I really enjoy it and I'm just extremely grateful just to be here.
What are 3 things that you consider the most important things for students to know, but for the president to know as to connect president and students?
Student development, student involvement, and then student education. So I think if we can elevate all 3 of those things and provide those students those particular services, the president can assist our student body into becoming better and in providing them with experiences that will help transfer them into the working world.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth. I'm here with the University Press. I'm here with Joseph Pinehens. He's a junior transfer, and he is the only one who attended the student listening session for the presidential search. And I just wanted to get his input on how he thought it went and if there were any certain things that stood out to him.
Very productive session, though the attendance was sparse, and I would certainly encourage students who have not participated to do so. There's a very nice search team who is looking for the best qualities that the incoming president of the university will have to best service the needs and the wants of the FAU community. All kinds of input was provided by students, faculty, and I did find it a very interesting and productive session.
To some of the feedback that students at this session gave. There were 2 others who came mostly in tandem. They work on campus, and they gave some excellent feedback. So I was wondering what your reaction to what they said was, and if there was anything that you mentioned that you think would be good for other students to maybe hear about.
From the Arts and Letters department and how it's kind of been not the best of experience there. That is an area that I think they would like the incoming president to focus on as improving a little bit. And by trustee members that there are elements of the university that are doing quite well as far as the overall growth. Student involvement and lack of student involvement seemed to be an issue based upon what was expressed. Ways of going about generating more of that were introduced in the session. We're not sure if that's the president's role to execute that request, or if it requires a president to have somebody report to him or her about executing, generating greater student involvement.
And so my last question is actually about that. Students and most undergraduate and graduate students don't know much about what the president does. How important do you think it is for students to know about the president's role in the university system?
You're going to have a much greater, larger, and more fulfilled experience if you have an idea of what's happening on the broader level, as opposed to just what major you're in, or maybe just what extracurricular activity you're involved in, because eventually you're going to graduate. And once you graduate, you're not going to be taking classes and you're not going to be involved in the extracurriculars, but what you are going to want to draw on is what the university does at large. And if you can engage in that involvement while you're a student, your ability to be satisfied in that postgraduate connection with the university is much better.
All right, everyone, it's 12:55 and we've concluded the first presidential search listening sessions in person here at the Executive Education Building. All the last two sessions had less people. Students, we only had one student who came here voluntarily, two more that worked at the Career Center and were asked to come here. During this last session, open session, we had an instructor and an alumni who shared their concerns, political interference, the necessity of having a candidate who represents everyone on campus and not just certain majorities. We also heard from students the necessity of actually connecting the student with the president. So we'll keep you updated. Please be aware, we're gonna upload the story soon. Read us and tell us what you think. Here we are to represent you guys, to listen to you, and to ask the tough questions.